Krishiinet வழங்கும் தி Maathevan Show.
Krishiinet, India's fastest customer support. Certified by Google, trusted by Indian Air Force, Greater Chennai Police and 20,000 families. Call 94980-10101 to avail 1 month free internet.
Hello Hemanth.
Hi.
Vanakkam. Welcome to MPower. Welcome to the Maathevan Show.
Very happy to be here.
So MPower is my own channel. I'm doing this independently. So I've always wanted to discuss films with other language filmmakers, and yours will be the first Kannada interview.
Oh, nice. So I feel very happy when I am known as a Kannada filmmaker. Because like I said, that's who I am. That's my identity. So to know that my films that I've made in my language is being discussed outside and is being interest is being shown from other industries. It's a matter of great pride. So thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
privileged.
you for extensive discussion about Sapta Sagaradaache Ello.
Yes.
I have a lot of screenshots from side A and side B. I would like to revisit the film with you.
Sure.
And discuss my favorite moments.
Emotionally and mentally, I have moved on because I always treat my next film as the most important film. Like my last film cannot be my most important film. The film I have to be excited about is the next film that I'm
Surabi
going to
is
do.
more important.
Yeah. It's the next chapter of my life.
Yeah.
So the next chapter is what gives you hope. And it's always good to look in the front than in the rear view mirror, as romantic as it is.
Yeah.
That emotion is better when it is contained within a film, like how Manu's character is, he stays in the past.
Correct.
Right? So, but I am extremely opposite to that character.
Then why didn't you let Manu to move on?
Because you celebrate things that you can't live or understand that type of a personality, right? There are some people who can't move on, and that is beautiful also. So it is, I wanted to explore that because I am nothing like it. Once upon a time I was like that, but I'm not anymore. So it's like, it's a good way to experience an emotion through a character. That's what a writer gets to do, right? So
What did Manu teach you? Because you were that person before. And you tried to explore that emotion through your film, through that character. Did Manu teach you anything during the process?
there is a certain innate goodness in Manu. He's very troubled, but even in all that trouble, in all that chaos, even despite all the tough breaks that he comes across and all the difficulties that he comes across, he doesn't become a totally different person. Core is still the innocent self. It's just a lot of thick skin around it.
Correct.
So I guess that's a very endearing quality when you can live only for others, right? To make sure that other people are happy, I think is a very beautiful way to show love, because it is showing love comes with a certain element of expectation. What we know is generally maternal love is slightly unconditional. So Manu almost borders on that, where he doesn't care about his own self. His biggest desire is to meet Priya. He stops himself from doing it, so because he knows by doing that it's a selfish act.
Yeah.
By presenting himself into her life when her life has already moved on, would cause more ripples in her in that pond. So he tries to manipulate it from his own corner. But more than manipulation, I think it is more of trying to reduce his own guilt and come to terms with what he has done. It's like when you are in a car crash, the other person's life you have wrecked just because of your careless decision. So how do you make that other person's life better? You want to, but you also don't want to impose directly. So that's that weird space that he finds himself in, which is between right and wrong.
He kind of ghost directs her life.
Yeah. It's not supposed to be celebrated.
Correct.
I didn't want to celebrate it in the film.
And you didn't, right?
I believe I didn't, but it's open to interpretation. There'll always be somebody who thinks that what Manu did was extremely wrong and that he's stalking her. What he's doing is not right also. And other characters in the film constantly keep telling him that you are out of your mind,
Yeah.
that what you're doing is wrong, but he can't help himself. So it's like somehow, which is why the whole idea of the sea and everything fell into place, because when the sea becomes chaotic, there is no order to it, right? All the calmness is evaporated, the beauty of that sea, and it behaves in an extremely unruly manner. So you can't control that. So that's what I was trying to sort of depict.
Nice.
I don't know how it's it's come across, but yeah, that was the idea.
Let's start from the title card of Side A itself.
So when I was writing, for me, uh, for me the location of where the story is set, the geography of it, film is a lot of space. The backdrop of where the scene is being set is very important because it adds ambience, it adds believability to the film. When I first visited the weaving section, when I saw the weaving machines, I was reading about reformation and how this whole thing is in a jail. There are different employment options for prisoners to sort of work and contribute to society.
Stay occupied.
And mental health and all that. And also it's like a way of earning money inside prison. In fact, Tihar jail is one of the most profitable companies in India because of how much products they produce. A lot of clothes and everything is made in Tihar jail. So there's a lot of research that went into it. But when I decided I want to do the weaving, I could have done printing, I could have done anything. The weaving thing immediately, when I went there, what I noticed was there are so many threads and they all sort of come together in a machine to form this beautiful piece of cloth, right? Now, life is like that. My life is dependent on a lot of other factors. The people in my life contribute to the way I think, my state of mind, whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad. If somebody that I really deeply care about is not in a good place, it would affect me also, right? So we are like strings of a cloth before it gets made. So somehow I felt that connection would very nicely suit this thing, because here is a person who, for him, he believes that he's trying to design this perfect piece of cloth, but one string cuts.
Yeah.
And it there is a dialogue in the film where Patil tells him that mistakes happen. It is human. You can't escape a mistake, but it's about how you ensure that you live with that mistake, right? So, and your mistake shows on the cloth. He uses that as a reference. So I sort of took this idea that I got when I went to the weaving section and put it in the scene.
One out of place thread can ruin an entire cloth.
Yeah, exactly. That is what I was trying to which is why I felt it's perfect, because the color of the cloth is blue. There's a certain color attached to this couple, to the dream that they have. The color of the sea is blue. So I felt this is perfect in that sense. And sometimes, this is design. When I'm writing it, I'm thinking about it, a lot of thought goes into it. This is design of the story. What happens sometimes is that cinema gives you magic on the location. So the shot in which Manu cuts his hand,
Correct.
and there is blood, it's a jib shot. He's working and the shot starts from here and it comes down. And then he reacts like he has got hurt. Then he falls and then we show blood on the blue. It is just pure by accident that machine happened to have blue cloth, because all these machines were functional machines in a functional factory. So the only place where we could put the jib, because it's a very constrained place, it could only focus one machine that day, and it happened to have a blue cloth. So it just it's like it just fit, because the idea was blue, the whole thing was there, but the idea of the blood on the blue, and it fits perfectly. So it's like sometimes when you're shooting, happy accidents like this happen.
True. So, and we need to embrace it.
Yeah, absolutely. As in, it's very, I have to be very in that moment to spot it and say, okay, I want to react to this moment because it is communicating to me. The cinema is giving something to me. I have to be in that position where I am ready to catch it. You work hard, you work with so much design ideas, but then all that cinema takes and gives something back to you. That is magical. We
Being
live
a-
for that.
Being a giver and also a receiver.
Yeah.
Nice. Coincidentally, side B moves from blue to red.
Yeah, as in that color design was there beginning only. That's what I'm saying. The idea was to put red on something, on some piece of cloth. The fact that it became blue just coincided with the
Idea.
of blue and red.
Nice.
And one thing, when we were shooting the visuals for this, there is one point in the trailer where the thread snaps. When it snaps, it moves like this. It's like one jerk. That's exactly what happens with Manu's life. That jerk, was very beautiful. It felt like, sometimes it just feels right. So I was like, okay, we are going to make this the opening title sequence.
The very first scene, very first conversation between Manu and Priya.
Okay, how do I start the film? Because for me, all the learning that I have as a student of films, whenever I watch a film, for me, the first shot, the first sequence is something that is very important.
Correct.
That is a personal thing. I feel a lot of great films have a great opening sequence, right? So it doesn't have to be a hero entry as such. It can just be how the world is introduced to you. The story is opening midway. Their relationship is opening midway. We don't know how long they've been together, how they met. But the best way to see how much two people love each other is to see how they fight. Showing how they love is very, like if you go to a park, you will see 10 people sitting on a bench showing love to each other.
Correct.
Similar sort of a thing. But when you show a couple fighting, you can tell a lot about them because of the way they fight. Right? Sometimes it can get violent. So it hints that it's not a healthy relationship. It's a toxic relationship. Here there is a fight, but there is exchange of ideas. The way he looks at the world is completely opposite to the way she looks at the world. She is like, she just wants to grab what is being given to her and be very careful with it. He wants to grab the world. It's completely opposite. There is a certain restlessness to his character. There's a certain rashness to his character where he wants to be a go-getter. He wants to go change what has been dealt to him. She is like, we have something that is good. Why do you want to screw it up?
And that's why he is speeding up and she is asking him to slow down.
Yeah. So that becomes like the fulcrum around which the entire relationship breaks, right? So I was like, okay, let's start with this. And that scene sort of just wrote itself. I started writing it and it just, the moment I wrote the fight, I was like, yeah, this is the couple. Now, the way they fight, it becomes very clear that they've been together for a very long time. And the way they patch up also, that also shows. It's like, so in two scenes, I can show how much they love each other.
Correct.
Because of the way he tries to, make up for his mistake, for pissing her off.
Yeah.
The way she forgives him and the way they kiss at the end of it. So it shows like there's a lot of emotion in that. I wanted to show two scenes where I'm like, this couple is already in love and the audience has to believe it. So that was what I was hoping for. And thankfully, when you have, actors like Rukmini and Rakshit, they take what you've written and they add so much to it that it just becomes 10 times more believable.
The wit of Manu. Manu is also humorous. How did you add that character to Manu? Because he is innocent. He wants to dream big. Right? He wants to take control of his own life. He is also going to get broken into pieces. But even in side B, his humor stays with him. Why? How?
If somebody has a sense of humor, a certain timing, it is something that just becomes part of your personality. There will always be one person in the group, especially when you go to theaters and all. When I used to go to college and all, when you're watching the film, there will be one idiot who will say something and everybody will laugh. The moment you get a laugh from the other person, it's a high. It's like a dopamine release for the person. Manu's thing is he knows how to make Priya laugh. That is the idea behind the humor for Manu. So if you notice in side A, all his humor is directed at Priya. In the sense, he's pulling her leg, he's saying something stupid just to make her smile.
Yeah. Even in the court scene, he says, no, nowadays it's really tough to make you smile.
Yeah. Because he's not in a good place, right? It's very difficult to make somebody laugh when you're not able to laugh yourself.
And when they know that you are not in a good space.
Yeah.
It was actually surprising because if someone else, for example, if I have written the whole idea, I think I would not have carried over the humor part of the character in side B. I don't know, but it was very intricate and
I didn't do it very consciously. The humor in side B is more, I would say, he's kind of broken, right? His behavior is humorous for the audience, I feel. For especially for Gopi's character, his friend, who's with him, who's been with him for all this while. He's telling him constantly, don't do this, don't go talk to her. Why do you need to talk to her? Your life is, she's moved on. Next day he goes and talks to her.
correct.
So the humor actually is playing out because Gopi is feeling powerless because he does not know how to stop this like this sea.
Just like us.
Yeah. So it's like, what is he doing? That frustration plays out humorously. But it's not Manu's humor as such. It's more with Manu's humor again comes out when he talks with Surabhi. I think those are factors where the writer's little personality also seeps in because I think I try and crack jokes when I'm talking to people, not just everybody in general. So for me, I like laughing. I like making light of a situation. I don't take myself seriously. I don't take too many things around me seriously. So if there's somebody who can make a good joke, I'll always laugh. I love comedy. So,
But what if there is a chaotic situation on spot?
humor emerges from such things more often than not. That is the most beautiful thing about humor, right? So,
Most chaotic day
yeah.
of SSC
On shoot,
on shoot.
oh, yeah, almost. There are too many to count. We shot for 130 days, side A and side B. Lots of times when things didn't work out, I would lose my cool, but then I would find a way to laugh about it the next day. So it's all part of the deeply enjoyable.
Deeply enjoyable.
Of course, it's the best job in the world. I'm so privileged that I get to get up and go and do something that I absolutely love. Not many people get that privilege. So it's for me, it's a dream. I'm living my dream. So every day I'm thankful. I'm really grateful.
This conversation, why did you place this conversation in a subway staircase where we get to see so many people moving around them without even noticing them?
They're a tiny story in a big city, right? And there is so much of chaos, and there is no. It's a very private moment played out in a very public place, and that I wanted to sort of create that. The original idea was to do it. My initial idea was to do it near the Corporation Circle where there are roads and traffic and sound of the city all around. But somehow, practically, it wouldn't have been possible to shoot there because we were talking about one of the most busiest junctions to shoot in. So to stage the scene would have been Herculean. I was like, okay, how else do I do it? So there's a place in Majestic. There's a bus station in Bangalore where if you have to go from Majestic to the railway station. So the way it is that people get down from the railway station, get to the bus depot, and from there they go to different parts of the city. That's how the city is planned. So the underground network is like a series of tunnels, and you have people who are selling things, and people are so busy to get on with their day.
Correct.
So that backdrop for us, again, coming back to, for me, the location plays such a big canvas as to where the scene is set, why the scene should be staged here, why the chaos of the background sort of elevates the tension between the two characters. Nobody gives a damn about these two people. They are busy in their own ways. But it's like everybody is trying to do their hustle, and these two people are caught in that sort of moment.
Trying to create their own world.
So I felt it's a very interesting place to create that drama.
I've been to subways a lot of times, but I've never noticed anybody stopping there. Nobody has the time to stop there.
I've seen people fight in public places.
Correct.
So, and I've always wondered what could be they fighting about. What could. So as a writing exercise, I used to just write up some conversation. Okay, this couple I saw fighting today, what could they be fighting about? So I would just write a scene like that, and So it doesn't become a story. It is scene writing. You're just practicing. It's like going to the nets when you're playing cricket and just playing, right?
Yeah.
You're just trying to hit
Wall practice.
Exactly. So it's like that. So when doing that, I've observed these locations, and when I was writing this particular scene, I was like, this will fit here. This idea will fit here very nicely.
And two people trying to create their own space.
Yeah.
Or mini home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how she ends that conversation. I already have it. Have it here. Right here amidst this chaos with you. I have found my mini home.
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
No, it was, this whole thing was recreated because we didn't shoot in a real location. We took a empty stretch and we recreated the crowd, and my production designer Ullas did a fabulous job in terms of recreating it. So while shooting it, this was a very difficult to scene because Rukmini is crying in all her takes. And when Rakshit is performing, she has to go to the same emotional intensity for him to react.
Correct.
That's the beauty of working with actors like Rakshit and Rukmini, because they give so much to each other, right? They don't have to give to me. The camera will capture what they're giving to each other. So Rakshit was, whenever Rukmini had to react, Rakshit used to come and stand there. He doesn't have to. A lot of people, a lot of actors don't do that. A lot of stars don't do that. But Rakshit is so giving as an actor. He would come, stand there. He would perform with the same intensity, with the same emotion. And likewise, Rukmini would perform with the same intensity. And crying and going to this sort of
Emotion,
space is not easy for like half a day if you are just going there. Her face had become fully like on tomato, it had become by the end of it, because she was crying. I was feeling so bad for her. And after that day, we did another scene where she's leaving to Mangalore in the bus. So if you carefully observe, her makeup is, she looks little like a little cherry tomato because of how much she has cried.
I asked about this conversation because throughout the film, side A, side B, there are conversations about home. It's a constant yearning for all the characters, for all three characters. At what point did you decide that Manu and Priya are going to look out for houses to rent?
That was decided very early on, because when a couple has decided to spend the rest of their lives with each other, the question then arises where they are going to stay. Lots of times in an Indian context, the girl comes over to the boy's house. But when the boy doesn't have a house, in this case, he's like an orphan. He lives in a small room. So he wants a house where two of them can live together, which the two of them, that idea of space, where you create a space with another person, which you cohabit, is the foundation of any great relationship.
Correct.
Because that space becomes very important. You do everything there.
I always say, whenever a couple plan their home or start to plan their home, there's no turning back. And it's really hard to move on from such a relationship.
Because you're deciding wall paint and what you're going to do, which how you're going to build, where a certain room is going to be kept aside for something else.
Name boards.
So there's a lot of it's like a joint project, right? So that again is also something where there is a difference in the worldview, the way he looks at it. She thinks what he is doing is beyond his means, beyond their means. But he's not accepting what is being given to him from life. He's like, I came from nothing. I don't have anybody. I don't have a father, I don't have a mother. The only world that I have is you. But I want to make that really better. So he's constantly dreaming a better version for himself and for her, which is what lands him in trouble. And it's also a gender stereotype where the man often, at least society, women are subjugated to a certain stereotype. The chores of the house has to be done by the woman. But the gender stereotype for a man is that he has to figure things out. He has to, it's obviously changing with time, which is a good thing. But the upbringing that he has had, he can't think progressively that way. He's stuck to that idea that I am the guy, I have to figure this out. I have to figure out the next steps.
See, I think for the past 5 or 6 years, I have started viewing films with more empathy than moral scales. So I don't think this is a problem. Meaning, I don't think anybody would have thought this way. I think because you have thought so much about the character, you're explaining the character this way.
Possibly.
Yeah. In love, we make decisions and we just do it for love.
Yeah.
So I don't think any gender responsibilities play a role here.
Not in between them.
Yeah.
But in modern, if I were to make the same story about a modern couple working in an IT sort of where both of them come with a certain amount of privilege,
Yeah.
the writing would change drastically, because the conversation there is a lot more self-awareness in terms of gender roles today for that section of society.
Correct.
Right? So the way I would approach it would be different. But here, I had to approach it with a slightly classical brush, because the characters are coming from that sort of milieu.
True. Talking about innocence, out of a good person, such a good person like Manu, it's really tough to write drama. Because he is a good person.
Correct.
Right? So, and in the Mariana or time, now we get to see a lot of grey characters being celebrated and all, even in romantic films. Right? So, from where did the thought of representing goodness come from?
No, I didn't think too much about it. I just thought it's nice. I mean, it's like I like characters like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful quality to have. Being good to people around you and to yourself is a great. It's a true hero trait.
Correct.
Right?
That we grew up watching.
Yeah. What makes a great hero or what makes a great individual always is the goodness of their heart.
Yeah.
And historically, whatever we have done so far is because some good people have made good decisions, not for themselves but for the future. Is a very powerful thought. It helps keep humanity alive in the long run. Because if you start fighting against each other, Earth will be there, but we won't be there.
Yeah.
Right. So that I think is a beautiful trait. It's like I innately, I guess, like it. So yeah, that's where it comes from, maybe.
There is a filmmaker in Tamil, Vikraman. He used to make a lot of films with protagonists being really good. Like, for example, there is a film called Unnai Ninithu, directed by Vikraman,
I think I've seen it.
Oh,
I think
actor Surya played.
Yeah.
So actor Surya's that character is really extremely good.
Yeah.
We used to feel bad for the character.
Yeah. Even Mayaragan.
Mayaragan.
Yeah, that the Karthik's character is so like. There are times when I'm driving and I'm going home and I see his face. I see the goodness of him. It stays with me.
Yeah.
That is exceptional. I mean, that is unbelievable writing.
Makes us
Yeah.
want to be good.
Exactly. And see, I also get negative thoughts. I also feel jealousy. I also get anger. I also feel negative energy. Right? But you need these kind of North Stars in the sky to pull you towards a certain direction. So it's nice to have those characters, I guess.
And thank you for writing, Manu.
All thanks to Rakshit for the way he played him.
Talking about fast forwarding their life, what gave you the confidence of dealing with handwritten letters, tape recorders, cassettes during this modern time?
See, we take communication for granted today. I come from an era where to talk to my first college crush, I used to give her a missed call. And if she was near the phone, she would give me a missed call. So talking to somebody was such a difficult thing, right? If you go some more years back, it was like you had to send a letter or a telegram, and it is like you have to cycle 400 kilometers to see somebody. So which requires effort. So for me, when I was writing, I was like, I have to have them communicate either through letters or some other mode of communication. Which is why the story is set in 2010. Because 2010, it was in that very weird phase where technology had entered all our lives. YouTube and everything was just in the peripheral thing. But it did not percolate it to this strata of society. That the economic class of Manu and Priya, for them, a mobile phone was a luxury. Only rich people could afford.
Correct.
So for them, it was still the old school of technology. So the tape thing just worked out perfectly, and it's very intimate, no? When you're writing to a loved one, I love reading letters written by. Like if you when you look at the other day I was reading I actually I think retweeted also. So he had taken time off to write a letter. I think it was Hitchcock who wrote to Billy Wilder after watching The Apartment about his experience of watching the film and how much he liked it. That's such a wonderful gesture where you actually, you know, there is a stationery with Hitchcock's name and he's typed it out and he signed it and he sent it. That culture is so beautiful, no?
Yeah.
So the idea itself is very romantic. So
I saw a letter from Martin Scorsese to Anurag Kashyap.
yeah,
At his office.
Correct. Yeah. So for me, this letter, that tape that she gives, she is for 90 minutes she's giving herself intimately to him. She's talking about her memories with him. She's talking about her dreams with him. She's singing a little bit for him. So that the tape becomes the world of Manu. It in the prison, that is his escape. But what unfortunately happens is that tape becomes his prison once he comes out also, in a way.
Inside B.
Inside B. Yeah.
Oh, great.
And in fact, there's one scene which I had written, which I didn't shoot only. Gopal Krishna Deshpande, his friend Gopi,
Tries to destroy it.
no, he is the one who saves the tape from being destroyed and gives it to him inside A.
Huh.
Because he says Soma and the gang had come to the thing, they destroyed they took the tape recorder and went, but I saved the tape. So inside B, when Manu is constantly listening to the tape, he feels maybe he shouldn't have, you know, maybe he should have let go of the tape. Then this boy would have moved on in life. So
Oh, that's such a brilliant idea.
I'd written it, but I didn't shoot it because it was not. The scene would be about Gopi's feelings. So I was like, it was not fitting in. But as an idea, I really like the idea of Gopi having that thought.
Correct.
And it's natural. If I introduce you to drinking and you become an alcoholic, there'll be some guilt though. That I'll be like, damn, I shouldn't have taken him out for a drink.
Yeah.
So it's like that, you know. So, yeah.
That moment would have felt like reading a book.
Yeah. I like writing. That is my problem. I try and write. I end up writing like a novel and then adapt it to a screenplay. So my stories are very dense. Characters, arcs are. There's a lot of backstory. I'm writing for my own clarity, but that's a lot of material, which the film
Doesn't actually require.
doesn't. I mean, it require. I
mean, you require
it to make it
You
the
require to
film.
get that clarity.
Yeah. But the viewer doesn't. I don't think the viewer cares.
You have dealt with silences, intimate moments, and you have communicated a lot of things without dialogues. It's great. As simple as this moment. We get to see the backlight of the bus, and it gives a cue for us too. Very interesting. It's a simple idea,
But this was not written. We were running out of time. The bus, we had to indicate that the bus is getting ready. So the moment he pressed the brake, we saw the light, and that is when I was like, it's one of those gift moments where I was like, light is nice.
instead of someone calling, Akka bus is ready or something like that.
Correct. I didn't want to break from the moment. If one more person comes, it changes the moment between the two of them. It's not a private moment anywhere. So it is now, the camera is us, the audience. We are in this intimate moment between these two people. So it's like a triangle. They are having an intimate moment and we are voyeuristically watching it.
Correct.
So I didn't want to disturb that with some sound or anything. So when I saw the light, I was like, oh, that's a great way to indicate that the bus has started and it's about to move.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's go, just roll with it. But it was not planned. It was not, when I went to the scene, I was not like, okay, I'm going to use this. The location and that instance, when we were doing rehearsal, I saw it and I was like, okay, let's use it.
Oh, nice.
For the shot. Yeah.
You have used a lot of old school techniques of representing good moments or romance itself, like using this hand gestures.
Between a couple, right, there is always one secret language especially when there's a crowd. When the girl is feeling uncomfortable in a party, for example, the way she looks at the guy and just communicates, and the guy just gets it, right? Or the guy wants to say something, or they want to just have that moment where they show that they like each other. That communication doesn't require something, that everybody needs to know. It's like their secret sort of a thing. So those are all, again, it creates a nice triangle between the audience from a voyeuristic perspective where you're observing a moment between two people. This is classic Mani sir influence in the sense of, how he creates that endearing moments between a couple. There are so many moments in Mani sir's films like that.
What is one of your favorite?
That scene in Bombay where the kids communicate. Manisha, I think, is lying on the floor and he's on the bed, or the communication happens to the kid or something like that.
Correct.
It's a beautiful moment. And, things like that for me says so much about the couple without, constantly having the character tell the other character, you know how much I love you. Because that never happens in a relationship. Very rarely does it happens where you tell the other person, you know how much I love you. The other person will be like, I don't want to know. You're all lying. It's like that, right? Yeah. So these are all small ways to show that.
But how did you come up with this?
This I left it to the actors. I told them that I want them to have a secret gesture. So while doing workshops, we did workshops extensively between Rukmini and Rakshit to get them familiar with each other. So I left it as an exercise for them to figure out. I was basically doing the Spock Star Trek thing. But they finally was like, let's do this.
Oh, nice.
We were like, let's do something that's a little more intimate. And, So they figured it out.
This also contributes so much because we also get to have an image to associate with the whole film.
Yeah. For me, once this thing landed, when I shot this sequence, I saw that there is a nice moment between the way they're sharing this hand. And I decided to reuse it again and again wherever I could. I was like, okay, let's make them do the hand signature. Make them do the hand signature. So it was not part of the overall treatment of the film. I wanted to do it in one scene. But then I was like, it's their language. If I don't use it, I am not being consistent to them. So that's where you sort of work with the actors along the film. So that's how in many other scenes it sort of started emerging.
Throughout the film, we get to see so many close-ups, so many intimate moments. While writing itself, did you have these visual treatment ideas?
Kind of. I write very visually. I write as in, I don't put everything down on the script saying this is going to be a close-up. I don't write like that. But I see the film when I'm writing it. I see a certain kind of framing, a certain kind of visual order. And once my DOP comes along, Advait comes along, with him, it's a very beautiful, connection that I have with him, where he and I, when he looks at the material, when I tell him that I want the whole scene to play out in close-ups, right, where we see the intimacy between the two characters, where he is listening to her voice, where she's talking into the tape recorder, and we are seeing just a tight close-up of her eyes, and so he gets the idea of why I am choosing those ideas, and the way he composes, way he lights it, just makes it 10 times more magical. Because when I remember there's one bit in this whole tape thing which we did as a patch, because I saw the edit and I was like, I need little bit more. I want her to sing in one bit, which I needed for side B, which I shot in at a later point of time. So we just created the backdrop. We didn't build the whole room. We just created the backdrop, created the bed, and kept the tape and shot Rukmini in tight close-ups. So there also I was like, I want, exactly. These close-ups, I was very particular that I want like really tight close-ups, like a choker close where you're seeing every flutter of her eye, every little expression change. Because she is such a great actor, the best way to pick on that is to make the audience, the job of a director is to direct the audience's attention primarily. It's like, I'm telling the audience, watch this at this point of time. Right? So I can do that using my craft, using a lens. If I loosen the frame, the expression on the eye can't be seen. right? So at that particular instance, I have to go really close to see that expression. Knowing as to where to place the camera is 80% of the job. That really helped. Even with Rakshit also, we were shooting in a big place where it's like a factory. He's sitting on one tiny balcony type of thing, which is like where he's hid the tape and he's listening to it secretly. We wanted it to be very intimate. Like if you see, there are a lot of tight close-ups of him,
Listening to the tape.
And the idea was to pick on every single expression that the actor is giving. So again, all of this is only possible if I'm seeing the actor perform and I'm reacting to it. So it's like on the moment sort of decisions.
You said, even while thinking about the film or writing the film, you get the visual order in your mind.
Correct.
But is it easy for you to articulate the visual order that is in your mind?
To my collaborators, yeah.
Yeah?
As in, with Advait, it's very easy because he somehow gets me.
But while writing?
As long as I know it, I don't have to write it. I'm a firm believer that when I talk to the actors, I don't talk, if you're the actor, I am 10 feet away behind a monitor. I never talk to the actor from there. I never tell the actor, little more, do it like this or reduce this. I don't do that. I walk up to them, tell them in the ear.
What do you tell them?
Whatever I want at that point of time, whatever direction I have to give them, I tell them very intimately because that is my connection with them. It is information that is only required for them and for me. The whole set doesn't need to know, right? Why does the whole set need to know what I'm telling the actor? Direction is, there's no one way to do it. It's about finding out what is most comfortable, what works for you. So for me, this works for me. Like I figured this, as much as I prefer, lots of times the actors are like, you can tell me from there only. Rakshit is many times, he's like, Macha, don't come because I'll be shooting some, a tele lens from some 200 meters. I'll walk all the way, run, tell them, then come all the way. So sometimes actors are like, you don't have to come. So for me, I feel like I'm missing out if I don't tell them. So, and even with technicians, I will have that separate conversation about visual treatment with Advait. I'll communicate with him directly. He'll communicate to me directly. Same with the art director. Like when I sit with Charan for music, it's just me and him, right? We sit all through the night and we discuss and discuss and discuss. So it's only conversation that he and I know. There is no witness to it. So I like that kind of working environment where, there is a certain bond that grows individually with each collaborator.
This moment, present conversations between Manu and Priya.
In fact, when we went to the meeting room, I knew that we are going to do the meeting room scene. The scene was written. Writing and directing is two jobs. You're writing the scene first, where you're writing the emotion. As a director now, I have to stage it. I have to visually figure out, okay, this writing, how do I translate visually? So that happens when I go to the location actually. When I went to the prison, a couple of prisons, and I checked the waiting room, actually there is no way their hands can touch. So but I wanted the visual of their hands just about touching. So we built the set. This entire thing is a set. We built the set in such a way that the hand can come and touch each other.
Not hold.
Not hold. So the set was built, and there is a certain tension that grill needs to have when so many people are holding on to it. It creates that movement, right? So Ullas, when I explained to Ullas this, he immediately understood, my production designer, and he built the set perfectly for us to place the camera and to get this particular shot. And prison conversation was superb because you're orchestrating chaos. So many people coming in, and all of them need to have, what happens with junior artists is, if you don't tell them what to do, they will all be, they'll be doing that. So you have to actually tell them, you have to give them dialogues.
Did you use all those unused backstories?
Little bit. There was one actor who is amazing. His name is Kumar Swami, I think. He's a bearded gentleman. And he's we had cast him as one of the side actors. I love actors like this. He does a lot of street plays in theaters. He's not unfortunately, he's not an established actor yet. Hopefully he will become. But he's so true to his profession. Like, I love it when people love their job and do their best at their job. That's for me the highest kind of devotion that anybody can have. So he was one of the, in the waiting room, we had briefed him, my associate Aniket and co-director Gundu. They were given instructions to brief all the side actors to, talk about is the kid going to school, what is happening, school fees has not been paid, somebody else is complaining about something else. So give them small things to talk about, contextualize the meeting for them, because they are all unknown to each other.
Correct.
Every take I'm doing one tracking shot of Rakshit and Rukmini, I can, in the corner of my eye, I can see one gentleman crying. And after the shot, after the sequence, because my focus is on Rakshit and Rukmini, right? I had not registered it. After going away, I realized that there was one gentleman who was crying. I was like, what is he doing? He was actually performing. He was like, he was feeling bad that he had not seen his kid. And he is crying in every take. And while editing, I saw it more because I am looking at the shot. I'm like, I can hear his voice also. I'm like, wow, what a fab, to have actors like this.
Yeah.
It adds so much life.
Extraordinary.
Yeah. It adds so much life. I obsess a lot about these background elements. So much so that there are so many times that Rakshit and Rukmini, I'm like, cut, one second. And both of them are thinking, I'm going to go to them to tell them something. I will walk past them, go tell something in the background to some junior artist, and come back and like, what you're doing is perfect. There's no change. Do whatever you're doing correctly. That in the background was not working. So I get obsessed about those things.
That's really sweet of you.
No, but sometimes it's like I come back, I sit, and when I look at the monitor, I ask myself at the end of the day,
Was it really necessary?
why is it like, am I being unnecessarily obsessive about it? It's nobody who's going to watch this, but I can't help it.
Film being available on multiple streaming platforms digitally, where we can actually pause and
Yeah.
watch.
No, I've realized, I've thought about it a lot. I realize I'm not doing it because somebody else is going to check.
Might notice.
I don't. I'm doing it because I want to do it correctly. If I know that there is a mistake, some mistakes I have to ignore. I have to be like, okay, screw it. But some, when it's come to my attention, and I believe my visual language, I have to trust my visual language and instincts, because whatever good has come has also come from that. So if my instinct is telling me something is distracting me when I'm watching the scene, there's a chance that, it might happen for the audience also. So I have to remove that distraction. Sometimes it is somebody with a bright color in the background walking. The way your eye is that it will go there, right? So I don't want that. I want the eye to be here. So
Directing the audience.
Yeah.
Nice. I think this is the only moment where you have used the diopter shot.
Yeah, split field diopter.
Yeah. Why did you choose to do it?
Because I wanted a shot where we can see both Rakshit and Rukmini. The idea would have been to shift focus, but to have both of them at the same moment would have been very interesting. This actually, Advait suggested, I think Star Wars, they've used this. Brandy Palma is a filmmaker that I really love. He's one of the absolute pioneers for the kind of films that I really like, and also that I have learned a lot from. Remembered him using split field diopter, and as a filmmaker, you want to use different techniques available, but you have to be conscious of one thing which is very important is, am I using the technique because I am excited about using it, or does it suit the moment? I should never use a technique that doesn't suit the moment for the film. If the emotion is not calling for it, the script is not calling for it, I shouldn't impose a certain technique to it. So that way I have to be mindful. So, but when Advait suggested the split field thing, I was like, it fits perfectly because I'm getting to see the reaction of Rakshit to that question. Did you do it?
Correct.
So him saying yes and her reaction to it is happening simultaneously. So, and it creates a certain kind of a dissonance because he's so close to the frame, she's so far away from the frame. So it just fit.
And I'm so glad you used it only once.
Yeah, because I didn't feel the necessity to use it anywhere.
This is my perspective. Somehow, I feel the diopter shot feels a bit artificial.
Yeah,
with the whole
correct,
output.
correct, correct. As in, if you
It feels made up.
if it is, because it is actually, if you look at it from the visual language, it's a very unusual composition where you have focus at two different points. One that is, you can't have, like when I look at my hand, I can't see you.
Correct.
Right? So this is a very weird scenario where I can see the hand also, I can see you also, which is
unnatural.
Which is slightly unnatural by nature. So that this moment it fit for me when I was thinking of it. We were like, let's roll with it. Nice. And that's how we shot it.
A lot of places, you also had to be a sadist, just like this one.
Yeah.
See, basically, you did not want Manu to read whatever Priya had written. But how did you come up with this level of sadistic approach?
No, because this is very common in prison. The kind of stories that when I met a lot of prisoners, when I understood the psyche of what actually happens inside. I spoke to a lot of people who have done, like there was one gentleman that I spoke, he had done, he was inside, he was serving time for a triple homicide. He was a music teacher in prison. He was teaching music to the other inmates. So you have a lot of people like that. Then there's somebody else who had burnt his own wife, whose Patil character is sort of based on. A lot of people when you meet, they tell you stories of how it is, the way people are treated, how the prison system is very self-governed by the prisoners. That idea of making the prisoners in charge of the prisons itself. There's a whole microcosm of a world that exists there. So all this kind of characterization elements, it gave me an opportunity to show different facets of people, and also to put our character in relation to this world, like Manu in the world of such people, somebody who is so pavam and innocent in this very sort of space itself is very interesting.
Yeah.
So as a writer,
and tragic.
Yeah, as a writer I have to be sadistic. Unfortunately, I don't enjoy it. I don't feel good about giving them pain, but that's one of the jobs of the writer.
But how did you decide that this guy is going to do this, like grab the note from?
Because it's incomplete, no? Because somebody is sending you a note, you're getting a small window of communication, and that you don't ever get to see what is written.
Yeah.
That's a very horrible feeling, no?
And he grabs it and swallows it.
Yeah, and eats it. Yeah. There's a short film that won an Oscar very long back, a black and white film. There is a boy who's a African American. He enters the bus and there's a racist white lady sitting next to her. And it has the San Francisco backdrop, and beautifully shot, black and white film. And this lady is constantly being racist to this this African American kid, and saying mean things. And in the background you can see the ticket conductor walking. So when he comes close, he just takes her ticket and chews it off. So, and she gets kicked out of the bus. So this same sequence is there in Devdi, if you observe, where Abhay Deol takes the ticket of one person and chews it. I didn't take this idea from there. The scene was written by, the dialogues were written by Gundu. This boy's name is Kali Prasad, fabulous actor. So Kali's dialogues Gundu had written.
Okay.
Gundu has not seen this short film. He has no idea. So, but when he suggested this and when he said that he has this piece of paper, I was like, it'll be good if he just eats it.
He added, it tastes delicious.
Yeah. I can taste taste her through the letters. I wonder what her lips taste like, or some absolute rage-inducing stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
See, bringing Manu to this position of giving up on love, on this relationship. While writing, did you have this as a plot point?
Yeah. This was like one of the main decisions of Manu's life, because letting go of the thing that is most dear to you, because you realize for him, his world stops ticking when he finds out that she has stopped singing. When the mother comes and tells him she's not singing, that's when, until then he's looking down. He's not reacting to her. He's not making eye contact. When she says that he has stopped singing, he looks at her and he makes eye contact. That is the biggest thing for him, because he has no natural talent. His talent is that he can, make this shortcut and make some money so that he can create a world. But he believes that she is like one of those birds who can fly away, and he is the string that is holding her back. So when he realizes that she has stopped singing, he has to let go, which is the hardest thing for him, because it's a very unselfish act. And for me, his performance in this entire sequence, the way he walks, the way he looks at her, I get goosebumps even now, because what he did, I think, is I don't know how he did it. Like, even when I saw it, I was like, fuck, what is he like? What is that performance? Is it the same Rakshit? Like, I had to go physically, like, hold him like this. It's fabulous. Like the way he reacts, where he says that when he looks at her and he says bye, there's a way he leans into the grill. These things you can't direct and you can't tell the actor, because I'm one of those people who don't act and show the actor what. I'm a terrible actor. I don't know how to act. I know what the character is feeling. I can tell the actor, this is what the character should feel. And in relation to the camera, I can tell, look away at this point. I want you to make eye contact at this point. Until then, I don't want you to look. Those kind of things I can tell. But I can't dictate body language. So what he does with the way he leans into it and the way he releases, he holds on for that 1 extra second. Oof. Like, phenomenal performance. So whatever was written, he has made it 1000x. It makes me emotional thinking about it, because it completely changes Manu's life at this point. And he says, you have given me your dream, which is the tape. So when he decides to, sort of say bye to her, the audience knows, he knows, but she doesn't know. That was written into the script. But the way we shot it was not what I expected. I didn't even think it will come out the way it came out.
Let's talk about Rakshit's eyes.
I can talk about it for very, very hours together. The thing about Rakshit, he's the innate goodness that you see in Manu is there in Rakshit. And it is more in Rakshit than in Manu. He is that kind of a person. He's very giving by nature. There is a lot of chaos also, but he's always fighting it. That is always a mark of a good person, right? When he's fighting that demon inside, it's like that. So he's terrific as a human being. I put him, especially when you see a lot of success, when you see a lot of fame, to be the same. Like how I saw him when I did my first film, Godivanna, with him, to how he is now. He's still the same grounded guy. I don't see him change.
Yeah, not just you. Even for me, the moment I came to know that Rakshit formed a writer's room, Rakshit Shetty and the 7 Odds, it inspired me.
Yeah.
Of course, not just me. There are people talking about Rakshit in other states, discussing how he is assembling projects.
Yeah.
Assembling actual pan-Indian ideas.
Yeah. He's one of the truly absolute lovers of cinema. That's what connects us. So to find that is very rare.
So talking about visual storytelling, now Manu has given up or decided to let go of this relationship for the well-being of Priya. And Priya, moving on, you conveyed so well without even her uttering a single word, using the tiffin box. And tell me about that, the fire montage as soon as she gets down.
This again is a total fluke. We didn't plan this.
What are you saying?
We didn't plan. I wanted some passing in front of the camera just to add dynamism. Because we are staging it, we were shooting in a real location. So I was like, check if there's, I called one of my ADs and said, see if there's an auto that can go past. Or some vegetable vendor, if you can go in the foreground. Because it just adds life to the frame, right? When you're choreographing reality, so it should look real. It has to be dynamic. For the frame, if she's standing there and there's movement, she's the only one who's standing. There's a certain kind of stillness to her, and there's a lot of movement around her. It creates a certain drama there by itself, without me having to add any dialogues. So I wanted something to go in the front. And Advait had fixed the frame, and he was just, sitting. There's no lighting because we're shooting in a public location. A lot of people are coming. and my ADs are dying because they're like, please don't come inside, don't look at the camera, and all of them are like running helter skelter. One of my ADs got a thing to pass, and it had a fire. I was like, oh wow, super, we'll use it. So that's again one of those rare instances where the thing happens.
And all these 3 shots are meaningful. See,
Yeah.
of course, this is a fluke.
This fire thing is a fluke. This is one thing that nobody has picked up on. When she throws the bowl, there is a person who walks in the foreground. Before that is choreographed. Those 2 people walking. I specifically chose somebody who is wearing blue, who leaves the frame. But nobody's picked it up. But that was choreographed. As in, the blue leaves her. Like, she is walking like this. There's a gentleman in blue. There were many junior artists that we had got. But I picked somebody with a blue costume to cross the frame from Priya. Like, it's almost like the blue is leaving her. And right after that, she upturns the food ka thing. That was the idea. But again, when I was shooting it only, I was like, no chance somebody will see this. But I was like, I like it. I will do it. Nice. So yeah. It was fun to shoot.
You should not lose this innocence.
No, this is the only way I know how to make films. So I'll keep doing this. I hope, it's fun for me. I mean, that's, like I said, it's the best job in the world.
We get to see Priya getting married. But what made you at this moment, looking at herself in the mirror, trying to smile?
Because it's a mask, that she's wearing at this point of time. See, there is a certain violence that Priya is subjugating onto herself, which Manu is sort of showing in the fight, where he is lashing out. Her violence is kind of internal. She is putting on she's forcing. It's like when you're feeling something, you're feeling pain in your leg, but you don't want anybody else to find out. You are, pretending like there is no pain, just for the outside world. If you do it long enough, you will forget that there is pain. That is the route that she is taking. So she is sort of that. She knows that on the mantap, she is feeling a lot of emotions. She doesn't want to get married, but she feels abandoned. Manu is not responding to her. Mother is also getting old. She has pressures. So for her, it is like, I have to smile when I am there. I can't look like this. So she is sort of practicing how that will look. So I thought that moment will be very interesting to capture.
Glad that you added this, because viewers, a lot of people would have judged Priya for moving on. I think this moment saved her from that judgment.
Yeah, as it would have been very easy to villainize her.
Yeah.
For me, it would have been very easy to show her as somebody who is, who does not, like, that whole rhetoric of girls are like this, boys are like
exactly.
that.
That she didn't wait.
Yeah. She waited. He pushed her away repeatedly. So she can't. If her mother was not there, if she didn't have those pressures, she probably would have waited for 10 years. But she just had to react to what Manu, like 2 times decision was taken away from her. Going into prison was not her idea. Moving on was also not her idea. So, which is why there's a lot of bitterness and anger, which is why she's not able to sing. There is a loss of her, the person changes when such bad things happen to you, right? Yeah. Which is why the way she is in the bus with that lady, her inability to sing, and even the second half when she's functional. I didn't want to put her under the lens, because then we are opening her character up for judgment from society, because society judges women more harshly than they do men. So if I started exploring her character in the second half as a married woman who is thinking about another person,
that might also lead to judgments.
Yeah, of course it will.
Oh, right.
Which is why in second half we don't know if Priya is thinking about Manu at all. We don't show her thinking about Manu. It is all from Manu's perspective, because side A we had dealt with only Priya's perspective primarily.
Priya thinking.
I had primarily dealt with Priya's thinking in side A. In side B, I wanted to deal with Manu's thinking, because Side A, we are not showing Manu's thinking, we are showing his actions. So in side B, I didn't want to open up Priya to judgment, where somebody is sitting across and looking at her and saying, you're a married woman, you have a kid.
You should not be thinking about him.
You should not be thinking about another man. How can you think about it? So I didn't want Priya to even, she is locked her emotion, like how she is hiding her face and over a smile, which means she's going deeper and deeper into she's locking all her trauma into one room. That room has a name which says Manu, which has a lot of their dreams, lot of their thoughts together, and her joy of singing for him is also in that room, which is what he unlocks. That was the idea. In the tape, she says that, I used to love singing for myself. Then I started singing for you. Now that you are not there, I can't sing. So his thing is to reverse that. That is his primary objective. He wants her to start singing again.
Nice. Hemanth M. Rao's visual magic started here.
I love this sequence. It's one of my favorite. I've spent the final film to what I shot changed a lot, but this particular scene I had carried with me for 10 years to shoot, because I wrote the script long back. So the way this played out was very nice.
Since then you had this vision of match cuts, parallel cuts, everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it was something that is extremely, it's one of those things that is very, very close to my heart because I'd written it so long back. So I was very, it's something that I wanted to show, that this is my creation, So there's a lot of attachment to this sequence.
It starts off brilliantly with him tearing the calendar paper to the match cut of the Nadaswaram cover, right?
Yeah.
That's something brilliant. See, other stuff, I get it to an extent, but this is very...
No, the tearing of the thing, I wanted to register the date that she's getting married on 27th. And May 27th is, in all my films, anything bad happens, it will always be on May 27th. Because my first film which topped, that Muhurat was 27th May. So I did the Muhurat, we did a press conference and everything, and the film didn't take off. Second day of the Muhurat, I found out my producer doesn't have money. So long back there was a film called Love Churmuri. So the Muhurat day was 27 May. So every time in my previous film Kavaludaari, there's an accident that happens where one of the character loses his family. That also is May 27th. Anything bad happens, it is May 27th.
And then good starts to happen.
Yeah.
Nice. There is one shot where you get a bit cinematic. I don't know what is this called.
This is Puri.
Akshata. Something like that.
Puffed rice, basically.
They also appear in
the next cut. Yeah.
Manu's frame.
Yeah. This was a idea that I got when we were doing the fight sequence. The wedding sequence I'd already shot first. This sequence I was shooting when I was shooting the fight sequence, I was looking at. I had shot with the idea that okay, when she's moving her legs, we are going to shoot Manu's leg. When she's coming like this, we are going to shoot Manu through barbed wires. So that visual design I had in mind. But this Puri thing, I was like, it'll be amazing if the Puri falls from her and it lands here, and then the hand comes for the punch. So I in fact suggested this idea on shot when we were rehearsing, and both my co-writer Gundu and Advait, both of them were like they were not sure about the idea
because it's illogical.
Because it's like how it's not fitting. But I was like, no, it'll fit. Let's just go with it. So I just went with my instinct. A lot of times I go with my instinct. It just feels right at that moment. I go ahead and shoot it. So this came out like that.
So the visual design of side A properly expressed or represented the powerlessness of Manu. We all felt so relieved when he hit his ears.
Yeah. One amazing point that Gundu had suggested when we were discussing the script is Soma going deaf. when Gundu suggested that what if he loses his hearing, I was like, it fit very interestingly because this girl's voice goes, and if he can snatch away sound from this guy, it is something that even if after prison, he'll always remember Manu.
Correct.
Soma can't move on also because every day in the morning he has to put something, in his ear, and he can't forget the fact. See, when somebody hits you, I've also gotten into fights. Somebody has hit me, but the scar on your face, only if you see it, you will remember. But if you have lost a particular sensation, then it is a constant reminder, especially in a very noisy environment. So that idea of hitting him in the ear was a lot of fun.
Let's talk about this.
Oh, yeah.
Taxi driver and SSE.
I love the fact that you picked up on this. This is literally when I watch Taxi Driver, that point where he goes and saves Jodie Foster, all through SSE, my writing desk, on top of it, Taxi Driver was the poster, like one small poster. It's like a tiny poster, and because it felt like a spiritual, connection to Travis Bickle in terms of what Manu becomes in the second half. Travis Bickle is a very lonely, very conflicted. The whole world is muddled up in his head.
Yeah.
And this point is something that is very, very dear to me. The way you picked this up. Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah. So I really wanted to have this conversation because when I first watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, it stayed with me for a long time. I've always wanted to have those visuals, communicate that abstractness through something, the claustrophobic approach to the visuals. I think you did it with this moment from side B.
When he's chained.
Yeah, when he's chained.
Yeah. I wanted a visual, like I wanted a small peek into, if you're going back to Taxi Driver and Travis Bickle's character, there's a certain kind of madness to that character, right?
Correct.
His similarity between Manu and Travis Bickle was not like a planned. It was not like I want to write a character like him. But they're all in the same world, I feel. And madness is very intangible for a sane person, right? If I am suffering from depression, there's no way you can understand what depression is because it's not tangible. If I say I have fever, you can understand it because you can also possibly have fever. It's measurable through a thermometer. Depression cannot be measured, right? You cannot measure mental fatigue, mental illness, like mental instability through a device. So the only way to do it is to take the audience into like a small peek into that world of that person. I wanted one such point where we see what is the madness of Manu's world, like how he feels like he's stuck. He's in a basement, he's free, but he still feels like he can't,
So you wanted to communicate it to the audience.
Yeah. That was the idea behind writing that.
And you did visually.
Yeah. I wanted it to feel like the walls are coming closer. So we built the set in such a way that the walls, usually set, when you build the walls, in Indian context at least, the sets don't move. So I was asking, I want the set to move, I want the set to become this. My production designer, every time I suggested like this, he would, first thing he would say is we can do it through CG. Then I love physical effects. Advait, both of us, we like seeing things happen on camera. So when we discussed the idea, he built it beautifully. And the set actually moves, the whole set moves and contracts, and then he wakes up. So that idea itself was very, it was like a nice sequence to shoot because we're shooting somebody's nightmare, right? So
like a fever dream.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Throughout the film, whenever dream sequences came, I was floored. Such nice way of capturing dream sequences. And I don't think you repeated the same idea multiple times. Like, for example, this felt like a nightmare. And when he thinks about Priya sparkling and it's more glowy.
Yeah.
Was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind an indirect inspiration?
More than how he bends reality in Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, and also all the other things that he's done, like the other ads, and that Michael Gondi is the director, right? Michael Gondi has done a lot of ads which are extremely interesting. There is a certain surrealism to his treatment. There's a certain very, you go to spaces which doesn't exist in reality, but it's an emotion. You visually depict an emotion. Like there is a point in Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind where it's a busy road and Jim Carrey is on a bed and the bed is being pushed on a road.
Yeah.
You don't see it ever. It's like, what is this happening? And then there's another sequence where Jim Carrey goes and hides underneath the table and he's like a tiny version of himself. And so you're making something that is very complex, tangible in a visual way for the viewer to experience. So
Something untangible.
yeah, that is a very beautiful strength of visual medium,
Yeah.
right? So
That scene, the table scene, made me write a short film.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love films like that. Like I have been deeply influenced by art like that. So whenever I'm writing, I try and create the experience of the emotion for the audience rather than telling.
Yeah.
Like how mad I am. It's like, nobody says that, right? When you see, like, there is a place that I used to go to smoke when I used to be a smoker long back. There was one regular mad person who used to come there. He used to be sitting in one corner and he used to be talking to himself. And I remember writing a blog post. I used to have a blog then about what the thoughts of that person could be.
Could be.
Right? So that for me, like I wanted to understand that. How does it work? So visually, how does it work? This previous sequence, all of these, I wanted to go into Manu's mind in Side B primarily.
We were talking about you meeting a lot of prisoners to write sequences of Side A. Tell me about writing Surabi.
We met a lot of sex workers through a NGO, trying to understand what their world is like, what their challenges are. It's a profession that nobody opts into. It's somebody has pushed them into that reason. And more often than not, it's, somebody's father requires money, he would have pushed the daughter into this profession. Lots of stories. Some people are born into it, and it's a survival mechanism. And they'll have bills to pay. They'll have somebody that they care for, some aging person that they have to take care of. So a lot of such people have, there was one very interesting story about a lady who used to work in a factory, a sex worker. And when I asked her, how did you get into it? There was a NGO that was working with them, and they facilitated this. That lady who runs the NGO was also there, and she was telling us that her mother was very ill, so she had to take an off. So her manager was not ready to give her a holiday, and it was one of those illnesses which required constant medical care. The manager was like, if you sleep with me, then I will give you a holiday. So she started doing that, and he went around speaking badly about her. So her reputation changed. Her family, so it's like that. So for me, they're very broken people because society and people otherwise have dealt with them unkindly. Just like Manu. What has happened to Manu is a very unkind treatment from the world for his actions, for what decisions he took. But the world has sort of chewed him up and spat him out. Surabhi is also like that. So I like the idea of two broken people coming together and what happens between them. Can something nice exist between them is what I wanted to explore. So it was very interesting to do research. In fact, I got Chaitra to meet these sex workers independently so that they can have a conversation privately to understand, woman on woman, what the world is like. So it was interesting to do that. So for me, I love writing. When I'm writing stories that are set in reality like this, it allows me to also understand things that I have no idea about. What otherwise happens is there is a certain, when you say sex worker, there is a very chameli type of a character who is wearing lipstick and It's like I have never interacted with a sex worker, but I have seen a sex worker represented in a film. I will do a version of it. So it's like you're trying to always take something that is already not real and romanticize it even more. For me, the film space was very real in nature. So I needed to know these people, needed to do that kind of research. So it was very fascinating.
I heard one of the sex workers you met suggested a film.
Yeah. One lady, so she was like massively into films. She used to go watch films. And in fact, one of the things that she said is, which is very interesting, is there was one person who never used to sleep with her. They used to go watch movies. That's how that scene of Manu and her
Surabhi
going to
watching a film
came about.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes when you set out to write, you are in your trying to understand that world, you get scenes from things like going to a place, understanding that world. You get cinema from those places.
Before getting into details about Surabhi, why did you feel the necessity to add a leading moment to Surabhi? This one, where Manu looks at a glamorous poster and tries to shake away the thought of lust. But then he ends up meeting Surabhi.
For me, this was the biggest, challenge of side B, is because in an Indian context, love is associated with purity. Having a physical thought is somehow considered to be abnormal, right? It's made to other that is bad.
Abnormal, unholy.
Unholy. Love has to be pure. We are human beings.
Yeah.
There's a certain naturalness to a lot of human emotions and human needs, right? So I wanted to show Manu, he's not been intimate with a woman for 10 years. He is constantly thinking about, memories of this one girl with whom he's been with. So addressing that itself was very interesting for me. So because of which the girl has moved on, she's married somebody else, but he is not, he's not had the chance to move on.
Yeah.
So in fact, when he mentions this to Gopi basically tells him that, you don't have to feel guilty. You're not married. So Manu still feels guilty because he feels like he's
Committed
some sin because he's emotionally invested on Priya.
Yeah.
He thinks he's going to see Priya, and even when he sees Surabhi, he feels like he's seeing Priya. He's not able to separate the two.
Correct.
The relationship starts out like that, but slowly the separation emerges and he starts seeing Surabhi
As Surabhi,
and he actually starts thinking of her as another part of his life, as another chapter of his life. But by then it is too late.
Yeah.
So that to address this it's a very sensitive thing. How we do it was very challenging.
Which one is your favorite, side A or side B?
For me, side B, because side A I feel is easy to do. Side B is difficult because you're going against the grain a little bit by taking on things like pure love. Manu shouldn't have been with another girl, and
Especially as a sex worker.
And things like that. So side B is more challenging as a story to tell.
And I also feel side B is more intricate and intimate.
Yeah. So for me, side B, I would put little above side A.
Same.
But I mean, that is my personal preference.
Same. I feel side B is a great piece of work. Great.
But it is not easy to sit also. Like, because people are so invested in Manu and Priya, they want that story. So side B was always going to be challenging, and that is something that
Side B felt more human.
It felt, for me, it felt like I was attempting something that is slightly unusual, going into slightly complex places. So,
Did you shoot side A and side B together?
No. We shot side A, we finished side A first. So, most of it is written in edit order. So, side A was sort of kind of put together. And then Rakshit had to become he had to bulk up, which took about 2 months. And then Charlie released. Charlie was a very big hit, so he had to be there for the release and post-release promotions and all that. So there was good 4.5-5 months gap between side A to side B. So
to start shooting.
So we did all the pre-production for side B in that period.
It felt like you became even more confident with your visual storytelling and visual design.
While making the film, I am forever struggling with confidence. I am never sure. I think that's the best place to be. I wouldn't want to have it any other way. I am never confident when I'm shooting because I'm going out on a limb, just doing something that feels right.
Correct.
I don't know if it will work. Right? It's thankfully all my films have worked till now, but I don't know if the next film will work. So that nervousness is what keeps me trying to give my best every single day. I have to feel that. I feel alive that way. So on set, I'm constantly like, will this work? Is this working? Do you think this is nice? And I'm talking to everybody, asking them repeatedly. So I don't know.
But it looked really confident.
I did it with a lot of conviction. When I was shooting it, everything was shot with complete conviction.
Good.
The confusion and confidence issues is after that. We have done it now, we don't know if it will work. That is the lack of confidence. But whatever we're doing with full clarity and conviction.
Nice.
There is not a single shot that I've taken in the entire film where I am not convinced that shot is required. That is that conviction I have throughout in all my films till now, and hopefully in my future films also.
Tell me about this homage to In the Mood for Love.
Yeah, this is In the Mood for Love is one of my favorite films. I wanted to treat this sequence, this American, the Texas switch, for a romantic scenario where this is a window of opportunity for me to take the audience into what Manu is seeing. We are experiencing what Manu is feeling. We see two realities. One is the reality that exists, and we see the other reality that Manu is, thinking in his head.
That is why the broken glass.
Correct. Because there are two worlds in Manu's head. One is this girl, and the other is Manu thinking he's meeting Priya. So he's sort of forcing Priya's image onto this girl, onto Surabhi. So that idea of doing it in one single shot, where they keep changing, that was the idea that I had. And when I discussed it with Advait, the way we lit up the place and the way we choreographed the sequence, it was a lot of fun to shoot this, especially the two girls, though they were dressed in similar costume. They were having a ball because they had to hide and run, and one had to go here, one had to open the door. So I can hear them giggling and all that in the background. But it was fun to shoot this.
As I mentioned before, the intimate visuals of side A and side B, especially side B, moves me every single time. A lot of shots for hands, small intricate details. Tell me about these shots.
In relationships, there's a certain love language to touch, right? It's how people hold hands, how they pat somebody on the head, how they massage their feet. There is a certain love language to touch, right? So which I feel is a very especially if you were to see it, like the way somebody patting your leg and somebody doing this. Those are all things that I really wanted to capture because that gives so much depth. Words pale in comparison to these visuals.
Correct.
So it shows so much in terms of the the way the memory is lodged. So I feel it's just way to make it more intimate primarily.
When Manu asked Surabhi to watch a movie with him, there is a moment of hesitance. But you first show that hesitance by her taking off a hand from him.
Yeah.
That was actually a great decision.
Yeah, because I wanted the body language to reflect that sequence was directed where I told Surabhi, Chaitra to that you are close to him physically.
Yeah.
But what he's asking is an emotional investment. Usually, a sex worker, he is being paid to go and sleep with another person. But this man is asking you to spend time with him.
Yeah.
So for her, it's like what he's asking is unusual. So for her to physically, for her body to react, her body needed to react rather than her face. So the actor is an entire canvas for me. Depending on the lens, I can choose where I can show the performance, right? I can sometimes show performance just in a hand gesture, just through a close of their expression, in the way they stand, in the way they sit. So much of story can be told in the way the equation exists between two people is paramount through body language. So if I can find a way to punctuate the body language through camera. Then
punctuate.
Yeah.
Best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Punctuate. Yeah. I was searching for something.
Yeah.
Have you watched Xavier Dolan's films?
Yeah.
These shots gave me that feel.
Yeah.
I always gatekeep Xavier Dolan's films. I don't discuss it with anybody. I've never recommended Xavier Dolan films to anybody.
Though now after this, lots of people will probably check Xavier
Personal
Dolan's
space.
filmography. But
Personal
he has
space.
very interesting filmography.
Yeah. Filmography, especially shots.
Yeah.
These small movements and punctuations, visual punctuations. The scene starts off with red and green. The moment Manu asks Surabhi to sing, we get to see a small ray of blue. And Manu looks at that window.
This lighting design was completely Advait in terms of that idea of green and red are complementary colors, right? So the idea of introducing blue on one, it was actually purple, but the cut in between of her patting and singing to him, the memory of her singing to him, that idea of, I remember very clearly when Advait was discussing grading with me, he told me that, you know, when there's so much red and suddenly there's one blue, it'll create one nice moment. I was like, yeah, nice, let's go for it. So I like it when each artist who I work with, each collaborator, each technician, the film belongs to them.
Correct.
They make it theirs.
They own it.
I love it when that happens, because then it is not just mine now.
Shared responsibility.
It is. It's like everybody's baby, right? So for me, it's a process of letting go. When I write the script, the film is all mine. Slowly, other people will come and they make it theirs. So it can only become better. So
And you don't cut to Priya's face.
Yeah.
You cut to her tapping Manu.
Yeah.
That's the punctuation.
Yeah. When he's lying down, what he's seeing is the way she's tapping. That is something that has stayed in his memory. Like for me, even my memories are very visual. There are things that I remember of people. Like only I will know things that I've noticed and sort of registered in my memory bank. This is how I am as a person. Like memories like this.
Oh, there's a famous Jack Nicholson dialogue.
As good as it gets?
Yeah. I feel happy or I feel proud that only I know who you are as a person or something like that.
Yeah. I think I know what you're referring to. When he talks to the waiter, what's her name? I forget. I'm terrible with names.
That the same film.
Yeah.
எல்லாருக்கும் உன்னை வந்து they just know you as a waiter.
Yeah.
But I know something else.
Yeah.
But I feel happy or I feel proud that only I know that.
It. Yeah.
Tell me about reflections and distorted reflections, broken reflections.
I am a huge fan of mirrors. I feel they're very dramatic. It's a great tool to tell stories. So for me, the idea of showing reality as two, there's a duality to mirrors.
Oh, nice.
So wherever I can use mirrors, I'll try and use it. It's something that I've seen all the great masters use. And as a student of cinema, so I feel it's a great, like I said, it's one of those, it's like slow motion. When you make everything in 48 frames, anything looks beautiful in 48 frames.
And black and white.
So mirrors are like that for me. Mirrors are less used because it requires a certain understanding of optics. It's difficult to shoot with mirrors because reflection will be seen, compositing has to be very perfect. So it's more challenging to work with mirrors, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. It gives you a lot of...
Red and green.
This again was a color choice that we sort of made. Every time we sit down to make a film, me and Advait, we discuss the palette and color for the entire film. We had very clearly decided blue to be thematically introduced throughout side A. We wanted a certain, if you see the way Advait has graded the film also, the blue sort of is very pronounced. Even in the costumes that I had selected, all the blues are they pop out. And as the film progresses, it becomes duller and duller and duller. In fact, somebody had pointed it out somewhere. I don't know who. I think I'd seen it somewhere. I forget. The costume selection for Priya also in side A, she's wearing blue till the point Manu is with her. For all the meetings with Manu, she's wearing some shade of blue.
Okay.
Once Manu stops meeting her, her costume changes to brown. So the way I visualized it and the reason why I picked it that way is the brown is the color of the land, of the shore. So she is becoming further away from the sea, and blue is the color of Manu. So she's becoming more brown and brown and brown. And in side B, when she starts getting back to singing, when blue comes back into her life in that room, in the costume, slowly you see her wearing blue again. In the end, when she goes to sing, she's wearing blue. In the room, when she sings, she's wearing blue. So I love playing with colors. I feel it's a beautiful tool again to tell your emotions and stories.
And when Surabhi gives a red jacket to Manu,
background is blue and
his t-shirt is blue
and he's wearing on top of it.
Him becoming red.
Red,
For Surabhi. Nice.
And even in the sea, when he goes into the sea, he's wearing red. He's like taking almost like it's like a huge portion of the sea is Priya, but a small portion of it is Surabhi. So Surabhi is also important to him. When he's sort of taking, when he's going, which is why he's dressed in red in the end. He's not wearing blue because he doesn't belong to Priya completely now. He also belongs to Surabhi in a very weird way.
There are two moments which I feel the peak of emotions. Him looking at a mannequin and thinking about Priya. That's something else. That's something difficult to crack. How did you believe that you will be able to convey this emotion in a proper way?
I didn't actually. When I was shooting it, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But the idea of an inanimate object, like a mannequin that is lifeless, projecting the emotion that Manu has was like only a non-sane person can think like this, right? When he is holding this, the way he's getting an opportunity to physically hold something with care and love. So for somebody who has not had that kind of opportunity, that itself is very intimate for him. So in fact, after this sequence is when he listens to that bit where she's saying, when we went to Madikeri, and I think about it. So it's like, this is like the lead to that. So even I didn't know while shooting it. I was like, how is this going to come out?
As a thought, it's actually weird.
Yeah, of course. When I was shooting it, I'm very sure there are lots of people around me who are probably, that's the thing. I have a thick skin about, I take everybody's opinion, but I will go with my instinct. Even if somebody I feel is like, what is this sequence? If I'm doing it with conviction, then I'm going with it. I don't know, it might fail. That is the whole point of when you're a little kid and you're drawing not thinking how it is going to show, what it is going to say, will people clap? You don't draw like that, right? You're drawing because you're enjoying it at that point. You're trying to express something. So I'm trying to stay true to that side of me. So I'm trying to be, in that moment. So when I was shooting it, even I was like, how is this going to work out? But the shots that we were getting, the way we choreographed, the way all the people are walking and only one guy is, all of them are holding like this, but he is holding it with so much care, and we are shooting it vertically. That shot itself was very beautiful. There is a certain beauty to the composition.
There is abstractness and there is some sense of poetic approach.
I was not, that's what I was telling somebody recently. In 3 years, I have not used the word poetry while making Sapta. Not once. But after that, a lot of people are saying it is poetic. But I didn't think ever, oh, I want to do something poetic. I was just doing like
What you wanted to do?
I want to express this idea visually. That's all I was thinking.
Nice.
And the way the mannequins worked out is that he's, again, one more amazing magic that happened is the first time Manu sees Priya, she comes out from mannequins.
Correct.
Like the real Priya comes out from the objects of which don't have life. She emerges from it. That location we got last minute. The way the shot was shot was also last minute. So the way it happened, the idea became more valuable because cinema gave a gift. At that moment.
I think this idea became poetic because Manu carries Surabi in the same way.
Yeah. This was designed. This was like I wanted him to lift her. And thing that I found very interesting with the way Chaitra played the character, and which is why in the audition also she popped out for me, was the vibrance to her character, to the way she smiled. Usually sex worker, when you say they have one, it looks like the weight of the world is on their shoulder and they look very sad and unhappy. She was still, even though so many bad things had happened to her, there was one bounce in her step, in the way she was talking, and there was one energy to her.
Correct.
So I felt that was very it added a certain, this point where he lifts her, there is one small giggle that she does, which was fabulous. I loved it so much. Like, because I edit, I keep looking at the footage over and over again. I get to see the performance multiple times. It's a great privilege when you work with great actors.
Peakest of the peak, visual poetry. This one, when he is stuck between two mannequins. And of course, I knew this was intentional because there is a shot. This shot stays a little extra, and you made Rakshit look at both the mannequins.
Yeah. This is the first time where Manu is treating another person unlike Manu. He is making use of Surabhi. So, like, the idea was that he is treating her like an object that doesn't have life, and he's hurting her. He is not considerate of her emotions. He's like, I'm paying you, you do the job.
Yeah.
But slowly she's getting emotionally invested in him. So this point where she, snaps back at him, and she says her husband is not a womanizer. So that's when for him it's like, what have I become? I'm treating this girl like an object.
Oh.
Worse than an object.
I thought now there are two women in his life.
No. That's how I interpreted it. But your interpretation works also. But my thing was, he is treating Surabhi like an object. Like there is lack of respect, and he is disgusted with himself
for doing
that. It's almost like he's aware of what he's become. So that is a point where he becomes conscious that he's using Surabhi. So after that, there's a change in the way he is with Surabhi. He asks her to move in with him.
Correct.
So there is a certain kind of attachment that he is developing towards Surabhi unknowingly.
Correct. The theme park shot, the first shot that I have here, see, all the other dream sequences have the glow effect. But this is real.
This was the whole film in Side B we shot with a different lens, because I wanted a very I didn't want a clean image. I wanted a very grungy sort of a visual treatment. So we opted for very old, like 1970s. We shot with a anamorphic Hawk V lenses. So that had a lot of these blurry sort of aberrations in the frame, which fit the style of the film. When you have too much light, you get a lot of flares in this lens. So the idea was, I wanted Manu and Surabhi to, both of them are kind of broken people, but they have gone to a place where everybody is so happy, and they are like, do we really belong here? It feels like we are the odd man out.
And they discuss about
it's like an atheist going to a temple. and everybody is like, they're praying. One atheist in between will be like, what am I doing here? So for them, that is the feeling that they were feeling, that we are so broken. Everybody is so happy. That's why there is a certain way also they're looking at it. It's like, it's almost like it's beyond them.
Distant.
It's very distant to them. And that laughter and joy and all that. There's a certain kind of loneliness that Travis Bickle has in Taxi Driver. So this scene for me is like in that space.
Tell me about this scene, the hotel meetup scene. Iconic.
What they did, what the two of them did with what was written on paper is the magic. What was written on paper was a good scene. It's a good scene. It's a lot of nice emotions, but the emptiness between the lines, the silences between the lines, I can't write it. That has to be lived by another person. So the way the two of them went into that space, is an absolute. I will for as long as I live, I'll remember the way the scene came about to life, because I'm shooting it in real, right? I'm seeing that emotion. I'm seeing Rakshit go into that space, Rukmini go into that space. It's their magic.
How did you think of removing all the walls and making it a surreal expression?
That actually, that was designed in the sense that I had an idea that I wanted this to, break open into the sea. What if the walls only disappeared? We shot 70% of the scene in a hotel called New Modern Hotel, NMH Hotel. It's like I love shooting in
Old buildings.
Locations that are very Bangalore. Like, I love Bangalore. I'm from here. It's the way I show my city, the way I show my people, my city, is the way I'm documenting life.
Correct.
Right? That's how, like, I love films that can do that.
Someone tweeted after watching SSC saying SSC felt like watching Wong Kar-wai in Bangalore.
That is a very high compliment. But I love, like, for me, the place is very important.
Yeah, I think this compliment came from the way you showed the city and captured the city's emotion.
Yeah, I guess. But it's a very flattering comment. I have not come across it, but it was very flattering. But for me, that places like New Modern Hotel, that there is a certain ambience to that place. So 70-80% of the scene we shot there. And then we took the entire set, a portion of the set, and we built it next to the sea and physically opened the wall. So they had to perform the sequence in two different bits, both the actors. But it was actually one interesting thing about it, which I've not told anybody till now, is this was supposed to be in the script. He has come to have coffee and tea with Surabi. So the way he comes out of the dream was actually her snapping her fingers next to him. But instead of that, we cut to him waking up, because I felt it was creating more of a jar that way. It was, because a lot of people, even now, they keep messaging me and telling me, did it really happen? Or was it a dream? I've never answered. I don't want to also. Because it's no longer mine. People can interpret it however they want. I don't want to answer it, because then it will have a definition.
Correct.
These things shouldn't have definition.
Manu gifting light to Priya. How did you even think of something like this? Technical details of this moment, how you executed, doesn't matter, because this is such a poignant thought. Gifting light to someone.
For me, that visual of the ray coming in, that itself was very, like, that idea, because inside she keeps saying that when they go to look for a house, that she likes a house which has light. There is a room that they see, and she's like, this is like we are living in a cave. There's no light only. And he switches off the light and he's like, no, sometimes it is nice for it to be dark. He's being naughty. But he knows what her preference is, that she likes living a certain way. So when he breaks into her house, he realizes that it's so dingy and dark. So that idea of bringing that light is something that feels so extraordinarily unreal in a way, because you can't bring light into somebody else's life.
See, I wanted to discuss about this because this might feel cinematic, but this might also feel unreal.
Correct.
How are you going to present it in a convincing way?
That is pure conviction and also visual design, in the sense it has to make sense as to how the light is coming. The location that I shoot in, why the light is not coming into her house, how the light comes into her house. If that can be figured out logically, it has to work logically for it to become magic. That is always something that I've always noticed. It has to make logical sense somehow. If it makes logical sense, then it will become something else. Basic logic has to be there. It can't just be that, there is a certain physics for that world. I have to stay true to the physics of that world.
And then create magic.
Yeah, within that. Yeah.
When Manu invites Surabhi to his house, we get to see a shot where Surabhi leaves her slippers.
It's a home, for her. So generally in an Indian context, home is, I find it even odd now when I go to any meeting, when somebody says, it's okay, come wearing your shoes. I feel I feel like removing my chappal. That's just how I am. So for her, it is like a way of treating it like it is her home.
Yeah. And for the first time, I think it is happening for her.
Yeah.
ரொம்ப நல்ல nuanced placement of that shot. அது நல்ல thought.
There's one expression in this where Chaitra smiles at Rakshit. She looks at the house and says, "It's very nice." Oh, it's so beautiful. I really love that sequence between them.
One more space where I feel you excelled as a writer is when Surabhi feels possessive. Yeah. That's a great way to humanize her.
It's natural, no? I mean,
yeah. See, I don't know. As a sex worker, she must have been with a lot of men.
Correct.
She must have even alienated herself from the emotion of love.
Correct.
She even mentions it.
Correct.
At one point of time.
Correct.
But now when she is in love,
Correct.
She wants to meet her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a great way to humanize her.
And
I loved it.
There is a certain, a certain ownership that comes with being in love. It doesn't matter what your background is. You could have been with 100 people. But the thing about it is that you want all of that person for yourself.
Yeah.
That's the nature of it.
Yeah.
It's very, so...
Surabhi burning the tapes was an emotional high for me. Because I was able to understand her. Surabhi finding out about the tapes, you added the bell sound as an indication for her to get directed towards the box. That's brilliant. How did you actually crack it?
No, it's a very empty house. There's hardly anything, because everything is like, it's still, they just have one sofa. They don't have a place to, they don't even have a bed. They sleep on the floor. And there's some kitchen utensils.
Yeah.
So in fact, he tells her, Kali there, which means the house is empty.
Yeah.
So she says, don't worry, I'll fill it. So, which means his heart is empty, his space is empty, she is coming to fill it. So in a place like this, there are very few hiding spots. Correct.
But was that bell, was it already present and you replaced it, or?
I came up with the idea of the bell because I wanted some sound for, or some hint that, okay, he's opening this to take out something. Something has to trigger, right?
Yeah.
In an open house, if there are no hiding places, then it's very easy to get caught. So he's hiding it in a place. Then how does he get caught? Is through some indication.
Yeah.
Either she has to catch him, which will feel very like, for the scene, it feels like he has to get caught, which is why she came and saw him at that point. I felt is kind of lazy writing. I felt there can be a better idea that can be cracked.
Yeah.
Which is the sound of the bell.
In the whole process of making SSC, you have constantly pushed yourself to not fall into lazy writing.
No, see, it's not a question of lazy writing. This is, if you look at it, this is very Hitchcockian. this whole thing of how a murder gets detected, how noir, a clue is spotted, there's a blood mark on something. That what, for example, there's one film, I forget, I'm trying to recollect, I'm very bad with names, my visual memory is very good. There's a film in which the character, the time of death is decided because the watch gets broken. So the hand is fixed at that time. So that's a beautiful visual detail to figure out this guy died at 10:30 because his watch is stuck at 10:30.
Yeah.
Right? So,
And the rope film,
I think so. I think again it's very Hitchcockian in the way you solve problems. So a lot of my films, I'm very deeply inspired by noir, film noir, and those kind of films. So all of these ideas come from that, where there is some indication where the character is using intelligence to figure out something else. There's a clue, a visual clue. So this is because of that.
Lighting this terrace moment. It's a very simple moment, but we get to see flares.
All the light, visual magic is all Advait. This film wouldn't have been what it is if it is not for, of course, the actors. But also it wouldn't have been what it is if it wasn't for Advait. The way he got the emotional scene and how he painted it with the lighting, because this scene can be lit in 100 ways. But the idea of using that flare to create a certain kind of glare, a certain kind of harshness, it adds a certain beauty to that.
How much time did it take for you to light it? Because it's a very small moment, not even for 20 seconds.
No, the thing between us, me and Advait, and the way we work is we don't do any shot quickly. Every shot is planned. Every shot in the film is lit for that particular mood and for that. It doesn't need extra time. We are more clear about our job when I don't shoot, usually on a film set, a lot of films, they shoot 20-30 shots a day. We shoot 15-16 shots max. But 15-16 shots, we know exactly what we want. I don't shoot coverage. I don't shoot the scene from 30 angles. I know what exactly I want to shoot. So there is more time that Advait gets to light that sequence then. Because each shot is planned well before in hand. So there is time for him to also light it a certain way. Which is why there is consistency in lighting. There's consistency. Nothing looks flat. Nothing looks like it's hurriedly done. We have to finish this scene today, let's quickly. We also work like that, but it's all done with a certain clarity that, okay, we are going to shoot only this much. Chuma, wide shot, then close up. We've not shot anything like that.
Nice. And in this moment, with all of her anger, Surabi calls Priya as a bitch.
Yeah.
That's something great actually. When we look at it from a writer's point of view, that's great.
This and in the next scene when she goes before this she goes to the sari shop and she sees the sari. Even that, so for me, dialogues play a huge role. I don't write a lot of dialogues. I like writing very small dialogues which summarize the scene. Like there is one scene where they're sitting on the steps and she says, and he says, did it hurt so much? She says, not so much. So he says, like solle kachidashta. So she says, illa adikinta jasti. And then she says, sukha kodavunge dukha kodaku varate. If I know how to give you pleasure, I know how to give you pain. So I didn't want to write a monologue for her. In one line, I wanted her to land at, I can hurt you.
Yeah.
I know how to hurt you. So here, when the sari shop, when the sari is being seen by another girl, Surabhi is sitting in the corner and she's like, nothing is nice in this shop. And she walks out. I was like, the way Chaitra played it also was, I think, is what makes the line better. Because there is a certain anger that you feel, which she's explosive, as a performer. It's a totally different kind of a dynamic to what Rukmini brings to the table. That's what I keep saying. Rukmini is well prepared. I give the script well before in hand. With Chaitra, it's more like spontaneity. You get a certain reaction. And that's it. It's like, so.
In the hotel meeting scene, you have used water dripping sound, right?
Yeah, throughout. That is there as a sound design in the film. in side B, wherever Manu is kind of in his space, in one weird space, we use that solitary cell. There is a water dripping that breaks his brain. That is a point where he decides, I'm going to break up with Priya. So when he comes to Priya's house, the water is dripping. He can't listen to that sound.
That is why he solves it.
He fixes it. So that water dripping is remnants of a past self. So some sound,
Some connection.
some weird thing I was trying to fool around with. Like I said, I'm doing it for fun.
Usage of the birds humming
Oh yeah.
for this sequence.
Yeah, there is a very famous Beatles song called "I Am the Walrus." So I'll get to the point. I'm going on a tangent. John Lennon found out that his music was being studied in universities. I'm in no way comparing myself to the greats. Just telling you where the humor in this is, where I laugh about it. Where he found out that people were reading the lyrics and trying to interpret, socioeconomic implications of the lyrics. Why the four guys from a port town in Liverpool are, writing songs like this, and why it has become a rage. So it was being torn apart, analyzed, studied as literature, and so on and so forth. So just to mess with them, he wrote a song called "I'm a Walrus," which is basically just to take the piss out of people who are over-analyzing it. So, I feel like I've seen people do that, saying, "Oh, there is so much of detailing. Maybe this is what he has done," that to make fun of me, and I find it very hilarious. But with regard to the sound of the bird, it just, when I thought about it, it just fit to the character, to the emotion. It just was one of those beautiful correlations.
See, that's where you become a good director, right? For example, many of us would have seen that video. Even I have seen that video. But using something that we have consumed at the right moment and making a creative decision, that's what makes you a good creator.
No, I think that is how I am as a person. I am very influenced by things that I read, that the art that I consume, the paintings that I see, the music that I listen to. So if I see a way for it to integrate into the story as some sort of a tool, I'm not borrowing story. I'm not borrowing, but there is a certain sound element which will add a certain thing. It fits into it, then why not, right? So I've always been inspired that way. And one of the most beautiful things of Sapta for me in the entire journey thus far is, even after 2 years, people are still making cuts. Some new film comes out, they make a cut, they make an edit, they make a poster. Some new art is emerging constantly from what we have created. And it's a very beautiful thing, because people are getting inspired to create what we have done. That for me is the highest kind of flattery, because I have also made the film like that, right? So somebody else went to this island, recorded the birds, and I used it in the film because I was inspired by it. So somebody else getting inspired by this and creating a painting or writing something is a very beautiful cycle. It's how we create always in life. So it's a beautiful compliment.
Chain of creation.
Yeah, exactly.
I still remember the very first time I watched the original video of that bird, last male bird.
Correct.
It affected me so much.
Yeah. No, but for me, I am a very animal person. I love animals more than people. I love people also, but for me, I love animals more. So it really bothered me a lot when I saw that video. But when I showed it to Rakshit, his reaction to it, when I showed it to Rukmini, when I explained before the sequence that I'm planning to do this.
Oh, while shooting itself, you had that idea?
Yeah. I had told Rakshit also that when shooting, I'm going to use this music. When I told Rukmini, she got super emotional, because of course it's such a sad thing, right? Where imagine there is nobody like you in the
Yeah.
entire world. There's only one of you, and you're still calling. That's such a tragic thing.
With some hope.
Yeah. So it fit what Manu was kind of going through. So yeah, the fact that somebody picked it up is in fact the biggest miracle, because some person online picked it up and mentioned
on
it
Twitter, right?
on Twitter. Visual memory is something that I can understand because I have good visual memory. But to remember a sound while watching a film when there is so much of disturbance and then point out was amazing. First person to do it was in Charan's team. There's one boy called Ganesh who first picked it up.
Oh.
And then this person online.
Tell me about the process of cracking your very first opportunity.
Very first opportunity was very, what do you say? It was very delayed. I got to make my first film after 10 years of trying to make films. 2 instances where one film Muhurat happened, got cancelled. Another film discussions were going on. So it took me almost 10 years to get that break where I could actually make my film. Until then I was struggling, trying to, do odd jobs here and there. I've done lots of part-time jobs and, weird. I worked in advertising, I've done all kinds of jobs in ad films. Like I was a production manager, I was a casting, I was doing casting videos, I was shooting casting videos, running around to help the shoot happen. Every job that you can imagine. And while doing it, I was like, what am I doing in my life? So it took 10 years for me to get that first break, which was Godivanna. And after Godivanna, thankfully, things have worked out. I've been able to do films that I want to do, the way I want to make them.
Correct.
And all of them have worked at the box office, and my producer has made money. So I'm still getting to do what I want. So
Nice.
It's a good place to be.
Very happy.
Yeah.
Because your first 2 projects got dropped while starting Godivanna, on the very first day, did you have doubts?
Oh yeah. But I also knew the weight of that moment, because it's like when something comes to you with great difficulty and you have worked very hard for it, you also don't want to get lazy about it. You also don't want to take it for granted. Every day you have to give your best. That is bare minimum. Whether you are, in the mood for it, not in the mood for it, giving your best is non-negotiable. That you have to do. So because so much you've had to wait, to get that moment.
Correct.
So yeah, it was very nerve-wracking because my first day of shoot was directing Anand sir. So working and directing a legend like him was like, will I get found out that I'm an imposter, I'm not good enough, and all these negative thoughts you will be having. You have to manage that anxiety. But yeah, I'm still learning how to do it.
About your writing process?
It's very true. This is when you're thinking about writing, you're very happy. When I talk about it, it's like the best job in the world. When I actually sit down to write, I suffer a lot because writing is easy. You sit in front of the typewriter and bleed, is what Ernest Hemingway said. So you have to pour something out of you onto the paper, which has to be authentic. It has to be original to you. It has to feel real and honest. That is difficult to do. But yeah.
Are you a lazy writer?
I'm procrastination heavy rather than lazy. When I decide to write, I write. But I'm not, what do you say? I'm not lazy when it comes to writing. Because writing is like a process that is constantly happening.
I remember a director telling, writing actually happens when you're not writing.
Yeah. So a lot of times, like when I walk my dogs in the morning, that is a lot of time when I'm actually thinking. When I'm driving to work, from work to home, there's a lot of thinking that is happening. So that way, a lot of writing gets done because I'm so consumed by the idea. Initially, I have to struggle to get the idea to take over my mind. But once after a certain point of critical mass, the idea completely starts dancing in your head.
And you try to add everything that you see
Yeah.
into
Like
that
you
idea.
become alive with that idea all the time. Like when you're sleeping, you wake up and it is still there. The thought is still there. So to get to that point is difficult. That is the part that takes time. It's almost like building up momentum. After a certain bit of momentum, the idea is there in your head all the time. Like that's what happened with Sapta. It was like the characters were there with me throughout. It happened with Kavaludaari, it happened with Godivana. Now it is happening with Operation Dream Theatre.
If your idea scares you, you are on the right path.
Yeah.
All your ideas, have they scared you?
Yeah. Terrifying. Because you see, surety is the biggest death of creation. Because once you know it is sure, there is no vulnerability. You can't feel vulnerable if you are 100% sure. And that is the irony of film business. Because most producers, most actors, everybody wants surety before actually doing it. The ability to hold on to that lack of surety. I'm not saying confusion. Two different things. Being confused is different from being very clear about. Being unclear about a result. Like, it's okay to be confused about a result. It's not okay to be confused about the idea. You have to be convinced and fully clear about the idea, but you can be confused about the result. Like, I don't know if it will work. I don't know if it will do box office numbers. I don't know if people will like it. I don't know if people will clap. All of that is okay. That you have to manage that anxiety because there is no way of knowing, right? If everybody knew that, every film would be a hit.
Correct.
But what you can be sure of is, I really like this idea. This is exciting. I want to get up and go and do this film. So more and more people do films for this clarity, the better the outcome I feel. That is very difficult to find in films because a lot of producers, a lot of actors, a lot of directors, a lot of writers will want to work on things that will work in the box office 100%. You can't have that clarity. So that way I'm always in that sort of scary, I'm scared about the idea that I have because I don't know if people will take it.
But it's your job to make them take it.
Make them take it. I have to work every day to make them believe it.
Yeah.
For them to be like, okay, this is something that I want to enjoy in the theatre.
It's good that you have become a producer and launched your own production house. Tell us about your Amma introducing you to films.
I was an extremely restless kid when I was small. I was very naughty. I was one of those kids where if there's nothing, I would take something and put it in my nose. And my mother would have to rush me to the hospital to get that thing out of my nose. I was like that.
Do you play with fire?
Yeah. I've not a easy kid to be a parent to. That much I can say. I was very naughty. Like very. There is something, mallige hua. So mallige hua is wrapped in a leaf.
Correct.
I think it is poison ivy, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Okay. Or some version of poison ivy. For some idiotic reason, as a kid, I had eaten the leaf. I'd put it into my mouth and I started chewing. That makes your entire mouth itch. Like if you want to trouble somebody, if you want to torture somebody, make them eat that leaf. They'll feel like tearing their mouth open. I don't know what came over me. I ate it. Like my mother had to rush me because I'm trying to scratch my mouth out. So that is the kind of kid I was. So she introduced me to reading and got me a library membership to put me in one place so that I can be a little calm. That's how I got introduced to the world of storytelling, stories. Because she got me into comics. These American Commando comics where you have these World War type of stories, then Richie Rich, Asterix, and
You
Tintin.
still have Asterix.
Yeah. No, this is all from my wife's collection.
Oh, collection.
So I started reading a lot. Then I got introduced to small. My mother is a Kannada MA. MA in Kannada. So she introduced me to storytelling like that. So, and my father is crazy about films. So during Sapta, my mother got diagnosed with cancer, and after a crazy fight that she put up, she eventually passed. So I started Dakshayani Talkies. Dakshayani is her name. So I started Dakshayani Talkies in her name to produce good stories, to make films, because we are moving into a world where storytelling, there is a certain kind of idea that only a certain kind of story should exist. So I want the production house to be known for producing good stories, for good storytelling. That's the brand identity that I want for Dakshayani Talkies.
Very happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
உங்களோட successful journey as a filmmaker and as a producer should continue.
Thank you. I'm really appreciative. I'm very thankful and grateful that even after 2 years, people are, people from Chennai, in Hyderabad, and in Cochin, Kerala, even in Bombay, are still interested in Sapta. Emotionally, I've moved on. For me, the most important film is the next film that I'm going to make, and subsequently the thing. I don't want to be known as, like when I made Godivarna, everybody used to call me Godivarna Hemanth. I didn't want the tag. I don't want to be known by the film that I've done before. I want to be known by the film that I'm going to make next.
You are going to change it soon.
Yeah. That is for me, amount of love and affection that keeps coming our way. Even I was talking to Rukmini the other day. Every other day there's somebody tagging us on Instagram or on social media or on X, saying we watched today, and this is what. And it's not like one message; it's like one long message.
I met Rukmini and made her say "katte."
Oh, is it? Oh, nice. I'm sure that is one of her most requested things to say. So it's when somebody is constantly giving you that affection for something that you have made with so much love.
See, I am really grateful. I'm a very selfish person. I wanted to discuss Sapta with you, so I came here.
I'm very grateful. Thank you. I really had a great time.
Thank you so much.
It was very beautiful because a lot of interviews I've done, I've never had the opportunity to, when you see the visual eye, that moment comes alive, how I shot it comes alive, that, what made that moment happen comes alive. Because I have not spent time looking at the film again and again. So this is like a good way to, go down memory lane. So nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
My pleasure. I really genuinely had a good time discussing it. Like I said, I'm not so many things when you showed, no, I was like, oh, correct, I've shot this, no, how did I shoot this? It felt like that. It was nice. I had a great time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Krishiinet, India's fastest customer support. Certified by Google, trusted by Indian Air Force, Greater Chennai Police and 20,000 families. Call 94980 10101 to avail 1 month free internet.